Looking for the best mirrorless camera to suit your needs? In this video, we're diving into some of the top options available right now. Before we begin, don't forget to check out the links in the description to find the best deals within your budget. Let's get Number 1. Sony A7RV Mirrorless Camera. Sony's new A7RV is one of the best hybrid cameras I have tested for both photography and video. It offers excellent dynamic range, very fast shooting speeds, and enough resolution for almost any use, except perhaps extremely large billboard prints. It delivers around 95% of the performance of Sony's flagship A1 II, but at roughly half the price. The A7RV uses a 33-megapixel, partially stacked full-frame sensor. This design allows the camera to read image data faster, resulting in quicker burst shooting and reduced rolling shutter, although some rolling shutter is still noticeable. It provides about 12.47 stops of dynamic range, which is close to what some medium-format cameras can achieve. It also performs very well at high ISO settings. The camera includes up to 7.5 stops of in-body image stabilization. Combined with its strong high ISO performance, this makes handheld shooting in low light much easier. In the right conditions, I was able to capture usable handheld photos with a 1-second shutter speed. However, this required a small, lightweight lens, calm weather, and very steady hands. Autofocus and subject tracking are among the A7RV's strongest features. The camera is especially good at detecting and focusing on eyes. It can track people, animals, birds, insects, cars, trains, and airplanes. The new Bion's XR2 processor supports blackout-free shooting at up to 30 frames per second with the electronic shutter. It also keeps rolling shutter effects relatively low. Another useful feature is pre-capture, which can record up to 1 second of images before the shutter button is fully pressed. This is especially helpful for wildlife, sports, and other fast-moving subjects. For video, the A7RV is limited to 4K, while some competing cameras can record in 6K. However, its 4K video is created from the full 7K sensor without pixel binning. This produces sharper and more detailed footage than video recorded directly from a standard 4K sensor. The camera also includes a feature called AI Smart Reframe. It tracks a subject and automatically zooms or moves the frame to keep that person centered. This can make it look as though someone is operating the camera, even when you are filming alone. The feature has some limitations, but it can be very useful for solo creators and filmmakers. Number 2. Nikon Z5 II Camera. Nikon Z5 II is the best entry-level mirrorless camera you could buy, with everything you need in a full-frame camera at a price that's hard to beat. First though, why entry-level? That's code for a camera without the useless stuff. Let's face it, most of us never get anywhere near needing the impressive spec sheets we're paying for, most of which are really only needed in niches like sports and wildlife photography. The Z5 II is for those of us who need a good sensor, fast, accurate autofocus, and great color science to make beautiful images. The body is well designed and comfortable to hold, though being covered in buttons and dials, it definitely has a maximalist feel to it. The mode dial offers 3 custom slots, which is nice for dialing and settings according to different scenarios. There are buttons to jump directly to all your most used features, like ISO, exposure comp, and autofocus mode, as well as plenty of customization options in the menus. The sensor here is the same sensor that's in the Nikon ZF below. It's a very capable sensor with excellent image quality. The dynamic range is just over 11 stops. In real-world testing, I found I could recover underexposed images to about 4 stops before weird color casts started appearing. That's really impressive, as good as the Sony A7RV, which even today costs nearly double the Z5 II. Note that the base ISO here is 100, not 64 like the Z8. Keep in mind that this is still a 24-megapixel sensor, which is toward the lower end of the full-frame market at this point, but more than enough to print 8x10. Number 3. Fujifilm X-T5 Mirrorless Camera. The Fujifilm X-T5 is one of the best cameras I've tested. The 40-megapixel APS-C sensor in the X-T5 is impressive enough that you'd be hard-pressed to tell it from a full-frame sensor. Images from the X-T5 are sharp, wonderfully detailed, and don't suffer too much noise. This sensor also manages to retain that uniquely Fujifilm look. The X-T5 is more focused on the shooter of stills than video, though it can record up to 6.2K/30p video. The camera body's design is reminiscent of film cameras, and perhaps the best thing about it is how seldom you need to use digital controls. ISO, shutter speed, exposure compensation, and shooting modes are all accessible via physical dials. Plus, Fujifilm's excellent line of lenses is surprisingly affordable relative to some of the others on this list, making this one of the least expensive systems to invest in. My only real gripe is the grip. It's on the small side for a body of this size. Number 4. Sony A7RV. If you shoot wildlife or landscapes and want to either crop extensively or print large, then the more megapixels the better. That's why we recommend the Sony A7RV, which sports a massive 61 megapixel sensor, the largest you can get in a full-frame camera. This sensor is also in the Leica M11 if you're looking for a rangefinder experience. The image quality here is astounding. The A7V may have technically surpassed it in dynamic range, but you'll never notice that in real life. Dynamic range in the A7RV is outstanding, and the ability to recover detail in the shadows is something you'll only believe once you do it yourself. The details here are fantastic as well. If ever you've harbored a secret desire to pixel peep, this is the sensor to do it on. If that's not enough, there's a 16-shot, high-resolution mode that can create 240MP images, so long as your subject is static, e.g., a landscape. I also like that there's an option for compressed RAW files, as the uncompressed RAW files from this sensor run around 125 megabytes per image, which adds up fast. See our guide to external hard drives if you buy this one. Number 5. Canon EOS R6 Mark III. On paper, the Canon EOS R6 Mk3 is a fantastic camera. The new 32.5MP full-frame sensor considerably ups the ante from the 24MP of previous model. The higher resolution also comes with 40 frames per second burst shooting and pre-capture like the Sony A7V and others. I have not had a chance to test the R6 yet, but my previous experience with the 6 series cameras, going back to the original 6D, make me think that this is going to be the Canon to get. The sample images available online show excellent sharpness, with good contrast and the characteristic Canon color rendering, slightly warmer in tone than some of the others here. The video specs are also impressive with 7K open gate recording.